You can do it, Sam. It happened one winter morning on Plum Street, and the moon was still up, making moonbeams and shadows on Plum Street. In the little white house, Mrs. Bear and Sam were baking cakes. They stirred with big spoons, swirling and tasting batter. They peeked in the oven at 2 rows of cakes, golden brown cakes for their friends on Plum Street. "Come on, cakes," whispered Sam. "I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait." Mrs. Bear and Sam waited for their cakes. "Now can we go, Mama?" "Now," said Sam. "Soon," Mrs. Bear said. "Soon, Sam." They waited, and then at last Mrs. Bear sniffed the air with her nose in the air and said, "I believe our cakes are ready." Mrs. Bear and Sam counted the cakes, and there were 12. They took them in bags, and there were 12 red bags. Outside, the snow tumbled on houses and sprinkled the trees. It powdered the garden and Mrs. Bear's truck. Sam and his mama climbed up in the truck that was green. They bumped along in the early light, just the 2 of them on Plum Street, uphill and down, up and down, to the very end of Plum Street. "Our friends will love my cakes," Sam told his mama. "Of course," Mrs. Bear said. Mrs. Bear pulled up close to the first sleepy house. "Here we are, Sam. I'll wait here and you take the cake." "All by myself," whispered Sam. "Go, go, go," Mrs. Bear said. She put her arm around Sam. "You can do it, Sam." And off he went, all by himself in new snow, all by himself waving a red bag and waving to Mrs. Bear, all by himself taking a cake to their friends. Sam left the red bag at the door. The sign on the bag said, "A tasty surprise." Then he ran back to the truck where his mama was waiting. "I did it," said Sam. "Of course," Mrs. Bear said. Mrs. Bear and Sam bumped along, just the 2 of them, uphill and down, up and down. At each sleepy house, Mrs. Bear stopped the truck. She put her arm around Sam. "Here I go," whispered Sam. "Go, go, go," Mrs. Bear said. And off he went, making tracks in new snow, waving a red bag and waving to his mama, leaving 1 tasty cake at each sleepy door, all by himself. Until they got home. There were 2 cakes left in 2 red bags. Said Mrs. Bear. "For us?" whispered Sam. "Of course," Mrs. Bear said. Mrs. Bear and Sam held hands on the path to the little white house. And the sun was just sunning up the little white house. "Hello, house," said Sam, and they went inside, kicking snow off their boots. Mrs. Bear poured cocoa into cups, and they wriggled their toes in fat socks, enjoying their cakes with cocoa. As their bellies filled up, they took turns telling stories about a bear called Sam, who takes cakes all by himself to his friends, and how they all love his cakes so very much. And that's what happened one winter morning on Plum Street.